Breaking news. Welcome to Africa Timeline, your source for the latest news from Somalia and the Horn of Africa. Tonight we bring you major political developments, heroic acts of bravery, humanitarian initiatives, and international collaborations shaping Somalia's future. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's dive in. In Kismayo, Jubaland and Somalia's federal government have pledged to continue dialogue despite deep political divisions. Jubaland President Ahmed Mohammed Islam Madobe reaffirmed his commitment to resolving disputes through compromise and thanked Kenya for mediating the talks. The high-level Kismayo meeting ended without concrete results. The main disagreement remains the disputed November 2024 Jubaland election. President Mohammed insists the election was invalid and wants Jubaland back in the National Consultative Council, while President Madobe refuses to renegotiate the vote and calls for the federal government to withdraw his arrest warrant. Experts say this stalemate highlights the persistent challenges in Somalia's fragile federal system. Al-Shabaab militants launched a daring attack on the Jilacow detention facility, just steps from Mogadishu's presidential palace. Somali security forces repelled the assault after hours of intense gunfire and explosions, preventing the attackers from advancing toward Villa Somalia. The federal government announced it will honor a soldier whose extraordinary bravery stopped the militants. State Minister of Defense Omar Abdullahi praised his courage and confirmed recognition for similar acts of heroism, highlighting the ongoing commitment to secure the capital. Despite Al-Shabaab's continued threats, Mogadishu remains largely stable, as security forces maintain operations to reclaim remaining militant strongholds. The African Union strongly condemned the attack on Godka Jilacow prison. AU chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf extended condolences to Somalia and pledged full support to neutralize terrorism and extremism in the Horn of Africa. Somali forces ended the 6-hour siege, killing all 7 attackers without civilian casualties. The AU urged member states and the international community to intensify support for Somalia's security efforts. In the Sanaag region, residents are demanding justice after a prominent Elder Caaqil Omar Abdullahi was killed in a U.S. airstrike last month. Locals describe him as a lifelong peacemaker, not a militant, and call for an independent investigation. Officials condemned his killing as an unjust political assassination, demanding transparency from the U.S. The incident has fueled anger and suspicion, highlighting tensions over foreign military interventions in Somalia. Back in Kismayo, talks between President Mohamud and Jubaland leader Madobe concluded without breakthroughs. Both sides agreed to continue dialogue, but disputes over the 2024 election remain unresolved. President Mohamud emphasized Somali unity, while Madobe insists on cooperation without renegotiating his election victory. The stalemate underscores ongoing challenges in federal member-state relations. Mogadishu, 6th October 2025. Somalia's Minister of Defense, Ahmed participated in a ceremony held in Mogadishu on Sunday to welcome Captain Mohammed Musa Mohammed, the first Somali officer to graduate from the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in the United Kingdom in 40 years. The event was attended by key officials, including the British Ambassador to Somalia, Charles King, Captain James Edwards, the military attaché at the UK Embassy, Abdullahi Adan Hussein, Deputy Commander of the Somali Army, and other senior officials from the Somali National Army, the Ministry of Defense, and the British Embassy. While congratulating Captain Muse, Minister Fiki praised the UK government for its continued support to the federal government of Somalia, particularly in security, military training, and strengthening defense institutions. The UK government supports Somalia in the areas such as security, military training, and strengthening defense institutions. It has continued providing Somalia with equipment to assist in enhancing security and strengthening government institutions. Somalia's Minister of Public Works and Housing, Elmi Mohammed Noor, has today announced the government's plan to build 2,000 houses for internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Somalia. Speaking at the Banking and Finance Conference held today in Mogadishu, the minister stated that the initiative is part of broader efforts aimed at alleviating the harsh living conditions of thousands of displaced persons. 2,000 houses will be built for our displaced people, said the minister. He emphasized that the houses will be designed to accommodate the specific needs of IDPs, with costs kept affordable to ensure accessibility. However, the minister did not provide further details regarding the funding sources, timeline, or financial aspects of the project. Somalia is one of the countries with the highest number of internally displaced persons, according to data from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, in January 2025. More than 4.1 million people are displaced within the country, representing nearly 21% of the Somali population. The chairman of the Somali Disaster Management Agency, SODMA, Mr. Mahmoud Malam Abdil, met today with the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator for Somalia, Mr. Georg Conway, at SODMA headquarters in Mogadishu for the agency's monthly coordination meeting. The discussions focused on emergency preparedness, particularly in case of below-average day rainfall, which could trigger drought conditions affecting vulnerable communities. The meeting also reviewed efforts to mobilize joint funding from domestic and international partners, following the establishment of the National Humanitarian Finance Fund managed by the government to support those in need. Both sides agreed to prioritize assistance for the most vulnerable populations and to strengthen collaboration between the government and international agencies to ensure timely and effective delivery of humanitarian aid across the country. The Director General of the Somali Immigration and Nationality Authority, Mr. Mustafa Duhulo, held fruitful meetings with the ambassadors of Qatar and Italy to Somalia, H.E. Abdullah bin Salem al-Nuaimi, and H.E. Pier Mario Dacco Coppi. The discussions focused on enhancing bilateral cooperation, improving immigration services, and advancing areas of mutual interest between Somalia and the two countries. The State Minister for Interior, Federal Affairs and Reconciliation of the Federal Government of Somalia, H.E. Sadat Alio, participated in the 76th session of the Executive Committee of the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, held at the organization's headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. The meetings, taking place from October 6–10, 2025, focus on the global refugee situation, with Somalia among the countries hosting large numbers of refugees. State Minister Alio is accompanied on this official mission by the chairman of the National Commission for Refugees and IDPs, Mr. Ahmed Hussein Elmi. These are the top stories shaping Somalia today, from political standoffs and heroic acts to humanitarian initiatives and international collaborations. If you found this update valuable, make sure to subscribe, like, and share, and leave your comments below to let us know your thoughts. Thank you for watching Africa Timeline, and stay tuned for more breaking news from Somalia and the Horn of Africa.